Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Go Get That Rose. We are covering the Bachelor Presents Listen to Your Heart, which is a lot to say, but episode 2. I'm your host, Sarah. With me, my new co-host for this journey is Kristin. Welcome back.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
I'm so excited to recap the show with you, and let's just get into it. What did you think of this second episode? Things are a little different. The format is a little different than that first episode. What did you think?
In all honesty, I found myself a little bit more frustrated with this episode. Okay. And it kind of touches on what we talked about last week. I feel like there's just a lot that hasn't been made clear.
Yes.
Number one of which, like, as you, I think, mentioned last time, what is the goal here? Like, what's the goal? What's the end game? What are we fighting for? Is it a record contract, an engagement? Like, I need to know what the point is.
Yeah.
And I think, like, secondarily to that, the other part I'm really struggling with, and it kind of seems like maybe ABC is figuring it out as they go along as well. But are we going to focus on the musical aspect of these people or on them as humans in a dating show situation? Because I don't feel like they're really leaning into either.
Yes.
I don't really know. Like, tell me about your musical struggles. Tell me about your history to get to this and what you hope to achieve as a musician, or really tell me about you as a person.
I agree. I feel like they don't lean hard enough on the music aspect of it. Which they kept saying, like, because I feel like every week, I mean, it's only been 2 episodes, but he's been like, oh, wait, we'll get into the music stuff. But I feel like they don't really know what the show is either. I don't know.
And I think, I think maybe we could talk about first the slightly awkward date between Jamie and her little Jed lookalike friend, Trevor.
Yes.
These
I think dates.
Yes.
They were something.
But it sort of leans into my earlier question, like, are these people really career musicians, or are they more music hobbyists on the show? Because it really made no sense for Jamie to be so afraid of publicly performing as her date. Is this not why you're on the show? Is this not your goal, to become a singer?
Exactly. And I heard from another podcast that they said that everyone on this show signed up thinking that it was a music show. Like, and then they told them once they made it that the love aspect to it, like the Bachelor aspect to it. So they all, like, signed up expecting for the music, like, to sing, to perform. So that is kind of confusing. I don't know. I had that same thought too when she was like, oh, I'm used to being shy in my bedroom. And I'm like, but you're a performer. Like, I mean, I get it. I understand a lot of music people that are probably just starting out are probably more shy. I get that too. But yeah, like, she just kind of came off a little bit with Trevor more unexperienced. Is that the right word? I don't know.
I think that fits it. I mean, she's young. I'll give her that. 21 years old. So, her career in music is certainly shorter than some of these others. But if this is why you're on here and you can't perform on the Venice boardwalk, like, your competition out there is not that stiff. You got, like, some stone dudes juggling and maybe a couple other, like, guitarists.
Yes. I thought, so let's jump into the dates. They were our first date. Jamie obviously picked Trevor. When she read out the date card and it said Jamie, you could tell other people were kind of ticked off and that she got to go on another date. And yeah, she picked Trevor and they went to the Venice boardwalk and were busking. I guess that's what it's called. I had no idea it had a name. I'm gonna be honest.
Right.
I had no idea. Which is kind of a weird date. And then they were actually, like, collecting money, which I was like, what is happening? Like, I don't...
Yeah, very strange date. And I mean, I have a whole other set of feelings on the dates these poor people are going on compared to what they may have expected, thinking they were going on a Bachelor show. I mean,
yes.
We'll get into it, but a guitar center is hardly a date. But yeah, what did you think about Jamie and Trevor together?
I don't like Jamie or Trevor. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. She rubs me the wrong way. And it could just be because she's young. I mean, I'm not that much older than her. I think I said that last week, so I can't really. I mean, I don't have room to talk, but I don't know. Her age really shows to me. Like, it really comes out. And I think I just get annoyed by the Bachelor contestants that are like, I'm just so in love and nothing can go wrong and everything's perfect. I'm like, you're on a TV show. Like, come on. Like, something's got to happen. Like, something's got to go wrong. That's just...
I agree. I'm also not a big fan of her. I find her naivete a little bit off-putting.
Yes.
Especially, she's 21 years old and yet has told us on multiple occasions that she has been cheated on in every relationship she's been in.
Yeah,
how many could that have been? And I read another article that said she went on over 100 dates in 2019.
Ooh. She, posted that? Like, she, let people know that?
It was an interview. I forget what publication, but yeah, I'm like,
ooh.
That's a date every 3 days. Are you counting a second date as a relationship? And because you have not made it official yet, therefore you're being cheated on? I have a lot of questions.
Yeah. Is talking to multiple people or dating multiple people. Does she qualify that as cheating?
I mean, I feel bad for the girl. To get back to her and Trevor, I mean, Trevor clearly does not have the greatest past. And
no.
I'm curious how that's going to play out. What did you think of that storyline, knowing that we know some of his dirty little secrets?
I love the cutting back and forth. I love when The Bachelor does that, where she was like, nothing can go wrong, everything's perfect, and it's cutting back to Natalie showing, I think that's her name, Natasha showing up, and then the one part where Rudy's like, oh, if he has the opportunity to come clean and he doesn't, then that's bad or whatever, and then that's exactly what was happening. I love that stuff because I'm like, wow. I don't know. I think Trevor is bad news. He's a lot older than her, and I think the fact that when they're in the hot tub and she was saying every boy I've ever dated cheated on me, blah, 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 and he didn't really come clean or didn't really say anything, kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I watched this episode with my husband, and he was like, no, he didn't have to say anything. And I was like, I don't know. I think he should have said more than he did at that moment. Especially when she was so upfront and honest. I think he should have clarified a little bit more than just she wasn't perfect and I wasn't perfect. To me, it felt like he was blaming his ex-girlfriend more than himself.
Oh, absolutely.
Which I was like, ugh, I don't know. He seems like bad news to me. He seems like Jed. I wonder if they're friends. I don't know.
They look alike and they wear the same jacket.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. What did you think about their whole situation?
It was uncomfortable, and I agree with you. I think him being intentionally obtuse when she was mentioning it was not a good look.
No.
And cheating is not great. There's no excuse for it, but I do believe that people can be reformed from it, and he should have taken the opportunity to be honest. Tell her, yes, I was not faithful in the past. I screwed up and I've learned such and such from it, and I wouldn't do that to you. That's a way to take it full circle and close the question without it needing to be a big blow up. Especially
when later they she kind of confronted him. I mean, he found her crying, but even then he didn't really own up to it. It was still kind of yeah, it wasn't the best, but that was 2 years ago. He didn't really take responsibility for his actions or even say what you said. Even if he should have just been upfront and honest, that would have been better to deal with. I don't know. The whole thing just felt very shady, and I felt like he just handled it very immaturely, and I don't know about the relationship.
Yeah, an apology goes a long way, and that was completely missing from the conversation.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about Natasha confronting him? Do you think that was the right move? Do you think that was a step too far?
No, I'm glad she did. I mean, when Natasha walked in, I will tell you, my eyes rolled all the way to the back of my head.
Oh, I loved it. I loved every second. I'm like, yes.
She is a character.
Oh, yeah.
I did not believe that she was 33. I thought she was maybe 43 pretending to be 33 with the amount of work she's had done. But that's up to her. But I'm glad she confronted him. I mean, it makes great TV, so I'll give ABC that. But yes. I think it's something that, knowing what we know about Trevor's willingness to be honest, was probably necessary to get the storyline started.
Oh, yeah. I think she should have came in and just been like, hey, I know Trevor, friends of my ex. Like, the whole thing where she was like, oh, who else isn't here? Oh, Trevor from American Idol? Like, I was like, come on, girl. Like, we know why you're here. Like, stop trying to pretend that this is not, like, produced. We know. Just be upfront.
Yeah, that was corny, for sure.
Like, Trevor from American Idol? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, my God. Yeah, that was something. Moving on to our other... Sorry.
No, I was going to say, she was cracking me up. Like, I don't know. I liked when she said, like, I'm here for my husband or my future baby daddy, whichever one. I was like, oh, no.
She's something. I was like, moving on to our other date, we had Chris and Bree as well. What did you think about them?
Oh, no. Okay, well, Qatar Center, which, again, my husband was like, Guitar Center? And I was like, I don't know. I know a lot of musicians that, like, that is the best place to be, just to wander around and play guitars and stuff. Like, I get it. But it really is a cheap, very cheap date, now that we think about it. Chris and Bree. They're cute. They're really cute. They're the only ones I really believe at this point that I think they seem very genuine. Like, he really seems like he's really into her, which is super cute. But what do you think about their speaking language of song to each other?
I'm okay with it. That's the point of the show. I think they are cute. I think they are moving incredibly fast.
Oh my God, she says she loved him already. It's the second episode.
Yeah, I don't know what the real-time timeline of their filming is, but that couldn't have been more than a week or two.
Yeah, because I was wondering that, because they were saying, like, oh, we've known Trevor for, like, it feels like a month, and we just met whatever her name is, for, like, a day. But I'm like, you guys have really only been there maybe, like, 3 days. I don't know. I wonder what, because I know Paradise, they say, like, oh, it's been a week, but really it's only been a couple days. Like, they really condense it. So I don't know what the timeline really is.
Yeah, and I think, Bree told us a little bit about her past. She was engaged only a year ago and obviously ended in a completely traumatic way.
Yeah.
And so I do wonder how ready she is to be falling in love with someone else and how genuine that is, or whether it's built out of the situation itself and a bit of trauma, but I'm no psychologist.
Yeah. I think Chris is really, really into her, and I think if it was, and it probably will, to end, I feel like it would probably come from her end of, like, realizing it's probably moving too fast, or maybe just kind of be like, you're not ready for this. I mean, yeah, she was engaged less than a year ago. That's a pretty big deal. The whole song thing was a little uncomfortable for me just to kind of watch. I don't know why, because she was like, oh, I communicate, like, I've never had a relationship where I communicate through song, like, that's how I communicate with people. And I'm like, okay, I get that, like, I sing songs a lot, that's fine. But they were, like, talking, speaking, singing to each other, and I was like, I don't know about this, but okay, I've never seen that before, so I'm like, okay, that's cute, I guess.
Yeah, I'll root for them. I have no reason not to, so I will go ahead and root for them.
Yes, I agree. I thought about, like, I guess that is like Paradise, where they don't really get roses or at the end of the dates on Paradise, right? That's only the Bachelor franchise.
Yeah, just the standard Bachelor, Bachelorette.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I'm like, people aren't going home. They're just really going out, and then they come back, like, I guess. And then I was thinking, I know on, like, the Bachelor shows, people want to get out of the mansion because what else? They don't have their phones. They don't have internet, TV. Like, on this one, it's cool because you get to hang out with, like, the guy or girl that you're, like, into. So, like, that's cool. I don't know.
Absolutely. I think that probably makes things progress a little bit faster. I mean, obviously, with the normal franchise, they're falling in love at rocket speed when they're only seeing the guy once a week.
Yeah.
But I think being locked in the same house with the same lack of technology and entertainment, etc., things probably could progress pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm sure. So our third date was Sheridan, and he chose Julia. Surprise, surprise. He seems really, really into her, and she was kind of into her, and then was also kind of into Brandon, which was interesting. I don't know how I felt. Yeah, really, because she was like, "Oh, he's really into Savannah," I think her name was. Mm-hmm. So I'm really into Sheridan, and then she was like, "I want to see if something's still there with Brandon," and I was like, "What?"
Still, when did it start?
Yeah, we were like, okay. Yeah, so they went to the iHeartRadio, did an interview, and then they performed together, which was really good. I think she overpowered him just a little bit, but I could tell, like, he was kind of nervous and was kind of holding back a little bit. What did you think of we talked about before, like, we wanted to know these people more as performers, which I don't think we got that much this episode, maybe a little bit more, but what did you think about their voices, maybe their style of music?
I mean, I think they're both very talented. The performance itself, I loved. Bones is one of my probably like top 10 favorite songs, and I thought their arrangement was spectacular. Like, I would download it. As the date itself, I think this was really where my frustration that I talked about at the beginning of the episode stemmed from. Either lean more into their musical history and, you know, their talents and goals there, or give me more about the person. This was one of those dates where I really wanted to know more about the person. Julia is interesting because she said herself she has cystic fibrosis, which, you know, runs the gamut as far as severity with different people, but often has a lifespan of like 35 years old. Like, that's something I want to hear about, especially if you're looking to date this person and fall in love. Like, it's interesting. Also, I mean, it's dark, but it makes good TV. Like, the fact they're not leaning into that, I think is really disappointing.
Yeah, that's true. It is frustrating because, like, I do want to know more about these people, and I just don't know. Maybe the show really doesn't know what it is. We're getting a little bit more music. I mean, we had them on every date, people sang, but we talked about last week, like, we want to know these people's style of music a little bit more and what their genre is, and not just singer-songwriter. And I don't know if we got that this episode, but I guess we'll have to wait till next episode. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I feel like I learned more about each of these people by reading through the contestant page on ABC, which is literally a picture of their age, where they're from, and their genre. Like, I feel like now I'm an expert, way more than the show gave me. Yeah,
exactly. I don't know. It was a date. I don't know. That's how I feel about all of them. It was a date. I like Sheridan a lot. He just seems very sweet. He'd probably be, honestly, the type of guy I would go for if I was on this show. He'd be the one I'm like, Sheridan, all in. Which is surprising that everyone is all in on Brandon. Even we had 2 new girls show up. We didn't really get to know anything about them at all. They were not important. But they showed like a montage of like all the girls wanting to get with Brandon. Especially, we got a lot of time with Mel this episode.
Oh, poor Mel.
Poor Mel. Oh, girl. I want her to be on Paradise. If we ever get Paradise, I want her to be on Paradise. I think she'd be great on Paradise.
She would be. I like her. I was sad for her.
Me too. Yeah, I felt she clearly had no idea what she was doing.
No, at all. Not at all. She was not playing the game.
No.
But she seems like a really sweet person.
She does. Yeah, so she was crying when Brandon got picked to go on a date with Savannah, And then, I mean, one of my favorite things this episode was all the very awkward kisses that was going on.
Gosh.
Oh, I think it was her. It was her and Brandon's kiss was awful. It was terrible. I felt so bad.
I mean, you are definitely onto something. Those kisses this episode was something else. That whole last 15 minutes with everyone desperately making with everyone else was incredible to watch. I think I downed a bottle of wine just out of entertainment. It was
a mess. Yeah, well, before we get into the rose ceremony and our last date, let's just take a quick break, a quick promo break, for the other shows that we have here on our network.
Hey guys, Sean here. Be sure to check out the new podcast over here at Merc with Movie Blog, Beyond the Screen. Mike, Sarah, and I every week coming together, doing our own little radio show, whatever you want to call it, talking movie news, life, TV news, anything, whatever comes up, that's what we're going to talk about. Every week, just come check it out.
Where?
On the Merc with Movie Blog feed.
Perfect.
Yay, okay, come listen.
Hello everybody, Jay Wade
and Kaylin here
to tell you about SEN Afterlive.
It's an after-show podcast where we expand on the week of craziness on SEN Live, as well as have guests on to join in the fun.
Yep, and we get personal too. We do movie reviews, and at times we go way off the rails, which I guarantee is always Kaylin's fault.
Hey, how rude and not true. So, come join us on the Merc with the Movie Blog feed, and remember to rate, share, and subscribe, and as always, enjoy.
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. Hey guys, it's Sean. I wanted to tell you guys about the new show I'm hosting, the Harry Potter Review Show. Every other week, I'm joined by some combination of Kaylin, Sarah, and one guest that has never read the books. We discuss one movie per episode and break down what we love about them, what we don't love about them, and the differences from the books to the movies. It's a ton of fun, and I hope you guys will tune in to check it out. Until then, mischief managed.
Okay, so we had our last and final date before the very, I guess, interesting rose ceremony drama, all the kissing, was Savannah and Brandon. What did you think about Savannah and Brandon getting up to sing?
I don't really know what I think about them.
Yeah, no idea.
I didn't get a whole lot of chemistry from what was happening.
Yeah.
I think they're both really attractive people.
Yes.
But I just don't feel like I got a lot out of it. From a date perspective, I mean, I love the Dresden. I live pretty close to it. I've been there multiple times to go see Marty and Elaine. It's a super fun place. But
that's awesome.
We learned almost nothing about them on this date in true listen to your heart fashion.
Yep.
Just got to see them have the same Friday night that I do.
Yeah, I don't know. It was probably the best date out of the 4 dates, I would say.
It was more fun to watch.
Yes, it was fun. But it kind of ruined it for me, I'll be honest, once they started singing. I don't know if that's rude or not.
I mean, you can see they had the lyric sheet in front of them. It just felt very impromptu.
It was,
not necessarily a bad thing, but unpolished.
No. He was good. I really liked his voice. I was kind of surprised by it. I don't know. I'm really harsh when it comes to singing. I'm really, really harsh. So for me, I was like, okay, it kind of felt like she didn't really know the song, or they just didn't really match well, their voices. But, I mean, I'm sure it was impromptu, and they're like, yeah, just come on up. But I don't know. At the same time, you have to think, you want on this show to perform, so don't you think in the back of your head you would be prepared to perform?
Exactly. This is why you're here. You should be ready for it.
Yeah, that's true.
As a date, I don't know about them, which, Brandon's clearly in the middle of a number of love triangle squares, hectagons, so he's shooting his shot wherever it goes, but I don't necessarily have a great feel for who I like with him or if I necessarily like him.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising because he did end up choosing her. And when Julia was kind of like confronting him about the whole thing, he was like, well, I'm really into Savannah. Like, I feel a really good connection with Savannah, which is kind of surprising because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if we see that. But I guess he does. Or maybe he just didn't like his options. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think what would really help me on these dates, and the part I'm really missing, is the dinner portion.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's so weird. I mean, they do like a little, like after Jamie and Trevor's date, they got in the hot tub, which was weird, but okay. We have to have our hot tub appearance at least once.
Of course.
And then, so they like talked a little bit, but that was probably just because they needed to cut back and forth between Natasha and them. And then like Chris and Bree, like they went into a little corner and they were talking. But yeah, like there isn't that sit down dinner, tell me your sad kind of sob story moment. I mean, we did get that with Bree, and it was, and I feel like they're probably the couple that we know the best at this point because of that, her opening up about that stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree on that front. I mean, maybe that is part of ABC's foreshadowing by making sure we're very informed about this couple and maybe not focusing on the ones that won't be around for a little while.
That's true. They do tend to do that. And then if a person that you haven't seen in previous episodes suddenly gets like a lot of screen time, you know they're going home to that episode. And that's what happened with Mel. She was not that important. She was not important last week, and then all of a sudden she was like in this whole episode. I was like, oh no, she's going home.
That's a good point. I'm going to probably start paying attention more to that.
Oh yeah, they do it a lot.
There's a few of them that you're kind of like, oh, who are you? You've been here this whole time?
Exactly. I'm like, oh, who? Like, that's how I felt about Brandon. I'm like, who is this? Like, he was here last week? I don't remember him. Okay.
And I felt that way, especially once we got to the rose ceremony portion of the night. Just seeing all of them in one group, I would say probably at least a third had no idea who they were.
I forgot about Ryan until he like showed up. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about Ryan. Let's move into the final portion of the show.
Yes.
And cute little Harry Potter that every girl was shooting their shot with.
Yes. I think Natasha called him Clark Kent, and he was like, oh no. Natasha and Ryan is a weird
That was desperation.
Well, she was like, I'm here to play the game or whatever she said. And then he even like called her out on it. He was like, I don't think I'm your type. Like,
that was great.
Yeah. She was like, you don't know what my type is. Like, I love nerds. And he was like, that's not a compliment, I don't think, but okay.
To be honest, I felt like the subtext of that was really, you're not my type.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. Or, like, he was probably saying, like, you would never go for a guy like me normally. Like, this is not. But, I mean, he still picked her. But I don't know what other connections he really had. I mean, him and Rudy kissed, and that was also really awkward.
That was terrible. That was probably one of the more awkward kisses I've seen in Bachelor Nation. I mean, Rudy was clearly a few margaritas deep at that point.
Yeah, she was like,
judging.
She like was up in his face and she's like, we should just kiss. And I was like, oh no. Oh no.
Yeah,
she's not good.
She was also giving off quite an air of desperation.
Yeah. He was like, oh, okay. He kept his cool with both girls, though. Like, he was like, okay, yeah. Why not? Like, I don't know. I like Ryan.
I adore Ryan. I think he is actually quite self-assured. And I think that he is for the right reasons. I think he is number one priority. Work there for his music and to get some recognition. And if love happens to fall into his lap on the way, he's okay with it.
Yeah.
I really don't feel like he's going to end up very tangled in any drama or anything. I think he knows what he wants, and he's there to make a name for himself and is not going to mess with any of the bullshit.
Yeah, especially since, like, there wasn't any, what we have seen, there wasn't any drama after Jamie picked Trevor over him. Like, we haven't really gotten any interviews with him being like, oh, I'm still so into Jamie. Like, that just seems like it's done and over with. So he does seem pretty focused on what you're saying, like, getting his recognition, getting his voice out there, and if he meets someone along the way, cool, but, you know, whatever.
I think he's an interesting one. I also know ABC, having watched enough of this type of show, that I think unless he does entangle himself, producers aren't necessarily going to want him around.
Yeah, he seems too good for this show right now, which is difficult. I mean, we have a couple contestants on shows that have been too good to not going to play, especially like Kelly on last season, like, was too good for that show, wasn't going to play with the rules, was just going to, you know, be there, and that doesn't make great television, so they kind of get a little slighted, and I don't know, I guess we'll have to see. I mean, he was given pretty good television with Kissing the Two Girls, so he was kind of playing along.
He was. Yeah, I mean, the Rose ceremony was an interesting one. I'm glad that he stuck around. I'm actually glad that he picked Natasha, because I really want to see where that goes.
Yeah.
Most of the other pairings were not entirely shocking to me.
No.
Poor Mariana, who got about 2 hours of screen time and then was sent on her way.
Yeah.
Best of luck to her. I have never seen this Gabe folk in my life.
No. He was the one that was, like, religious. It was, like, singing, like, Christian songs, I think, in his package. But that's all I remember. And then I think Mel was into him last week, and she picked him last week. But she's not into him anymore, obviously.
We will get some more screen time for him next week. He was the one that I literally was like, I've never seen you.
I don't know who you are.
I'd also like a little bit more screen time for Cheyenne. She was also kind of ignored.
Yeah, she went home too, right? It was her, Mel, and
Mariana.
Yes. Oh, poor girl. Can't remember her name.
I feel like we're probably going to end up with one or two newcomers each week. Who do you feel like is the most vulnerable couple and or individual to be swept up with some new faces next time?
I don't know. I feel like I feel like she's into Matt. I think that's his name, because I don't know who else. Like, she didn't have a good connection with Ryan, so I feel like if another guy comes in, like, I feel like she'll dump Matt quickly. I
mean, the Matt and Rudy situation is questionable in itself. The girl might be insane.
Yeah, that was interesting. And he gave her the rose, and she stuck around. That's going to be one of those interesting relationships to see what happens. Hot and heavy.
She slapped him in the face.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah. She's all over the place. She has so much energy. It's that, like, awkward, nervous energy. Like, that's what I felt it was, where she just, like, was just word vomiting everything, like, out of her head, and, like, slapped him. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think you're right. They're a vulnerable one. We're likely going to have new dudes next week, just given the ratios. And I feel like you're right. They're one that is definitely at risk of being broken up. I feel like the Ryan and Natasha is not really a thing. So if someone else gets Natasha's eye, Ryan could be on the chopping block. And I don't necessarily trust our friend Julia. So I think if there is a newcomer, she could certainly throw herself at that one, see what happens.
Oh yeah, definitely. Except, and I feel the same way that if 2 new girls came in, that Trevor would probably be the same way. I don't know. He just seems shady.
Definitely. You don't put that much investment in learning about his somewhat dating history to then make him into a hero.
Yeah. No. Well, I don't know. Maybe ABC. But before we wrap up, let's just talk about the Julia. Oh my God, all these names are running together. Julia, Sheridan, and Brandon. She was super confident that she was getting that rose. Like, she was like crying that she was going to break Sheridan's heart when she got picked by Brandon. I was like, girl, calm down.
That one really hurt my heart because Sheridan does seem like such a genuine person that is clearly so smitten for her. Yeah. There's this like knockoff Allie Larder cannot decide where she wants to go and is going to end up like flying too close to the sun and getting her ass kicked off the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt bad because like when they were the other couples were like in the other room, they're like, he's not going to pick her. And I'm like, of course he's going to pick Julia. Like, he said he doesn't have another connection and he's going to pick her. And I don't know, like because when he asked her like, oh, will you accept this rose? She was like, I'd love to, or something like that. And I was like, oh no, like I hope it doesn't go the opposite way where now that she's been rejected, that she's like, I'm so into Sheridan. He's been my number one since the first day. Like, you know what I mean?
It reminds me a little bit of Dylan and Hannah G from Bachelor in Paradise. Dylan was smitten with Hannah from day one.
Oh, yeah.
As much as she liked him, she wanted to sort of check out her other options and got herself in a little bit of trouble, and eventually things smoothed out. Mm-hmm. Not without Dylan being quite hurt, and I could see Sheridan having a similar experience, but I don't know if he's willing to roll over and put up with it.
Yeah, he seems very loyal. Like, he seems like a very loyal person, but I would say, yeah, probably the difference between him and Dylan, this might sound mean. I feel like you just said, I don't think Sheridan will deal with being walked all over like Dylan kind of was walked all over. Like, I think Sheridan has probably a little bit more respect that he would be like, look, I'm not dealing with this. You do whatever. Like, at least Julia, like, took him aside and talked to him before she went and talked to Brandon and was like, I want to keep my options open. Like, I want to see if there's something there. Like, that's respectable. I don't remember if Hannah G did that. She might have, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, I will say my kind of ending note is that I love the drama of any Bachelor show. The thing I am most looking forward to with this series is that we're not going to just get an angry, like, back of an Escalade speech from these people. I'm hoping for some real good, real angry breakup songs / like YouTube type situations after the fact. Like, they're going to have some content and some feelings that they need to get out, and I can't wait for it.
They have to sing like an exit song, like once they get broken up with. Like, how are you feeling right now? Sing that. That would be great.
I mean, that would be fantastic.
Come on, ABC. Like, gold. We'll come up with so many. That's not going to happen, but it'd be great.
You can have that idea for free, ABC.
Yes. No, that's not true. I want some money for that idea. Just kidding. Yeah, so I guess the big question before we wrap up is, do we feel like by the end of this episode that we have an idea of what this show is going to be?
Not at all.
Nope. Yep, same. No idea.
I'm watching to find out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to the next episode. It seems like next week they're going to start performing and getting judged, which I thought was the end goal of this season. So now I'm just very confused. Because they kept showing clips, and I thought those clips were like the last episode where they perform in front of judges and get judged or whatever. But I guess that's happening next week, so I have no idea. Oh, I have no idea what the show is, but, whatever, here for the ride. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see some Bachelor people and some actual performers be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm ready for the drama. I'm ready to see if new people are gonna show up, and I'm ready for more music. I want more covers.
Me too.
Yeah. I want the music. You know they're definitely going to be having them sing original songs. Like, that's going to be happening. They're going to have to write original love songs. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I will have the wine ready.
Oh, no. I'm not ready for it. But until then, Kristin, where can the people follow you?
You can find me on Twitter at Kristin Rose. That's KristinRoseAAAY.
Rosé. Love it. I'm actually drinking a little bit rosé right now. But, you know, gotta drink that wine for The Bachelor. You can find me on Twitter at SSeabock, SSEABOCK. You can find this show and more on the Merc with a Movie Blog feed on Apple, Anchor. I always say just go to Anchor. It's so much easier to find everything there. We have a whole bunch of other shows, not just Bachelor related. I know, super disappointing, but there's a lot of other kind of shows for whatever you like. And you can always come back, and we will be back next week covering episode 3 of the show. Hopefully we know a little bit more what this show will be, I hope, by next week.
Until with our own original songs.
Yes, we will come up, write our own songs, and we will perform them on this show. Yeah, this would be a great treat. Until then, bye!
Bye!